Evening, folks. We're gonna call a meeting to order here at 7 o'clock at 1 Academy Street on Tuesday, June 21st. First item on the agenda is pledge allegiance. Please stand and join us. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda review. You said you need personnel. Right.
Got a lead personnel, I also need legal
Okay.
and real estate.
Okay. Got them all. I got nothing. Nothing? Earl, anything?
Well, I didn't see anything on here, I'm looking again.
Children.
I think we should have a little bit of a discussion on the meeting that took place last week,
Yep.
and where we're gonna go from there, and what we might, think of what we should have put in as priorities to start getting something out in the community of what we're thinking about,
Yep.
based on the input we had.
We'll put it on under old business C.
Yeah,
Yeah, Art and Wine.
the only thing is, I'd like to wait till Nicole got back, cause I'm sure she wants.
That's what we can, if we get to it before she gets here, we'll
Yeah.
just skip back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kathy, anything?
I'm good, thank you.
Amy, you're good? Brian, you already had yours?
I got two other things. Under economic development, the rest area meeting is canceled, so there'll be no report there. And
Okay.
then, under other business, I'd like to talk about an upgrade to the phone system that will allow us to be able to retrieve voicemail,
Okay. Remotely.
somewhat remotely.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the way they put it, I'll explain it when I get
No
there.
problem.
Want that other,
There's a price tag attached.
other business?
Yeah,
Yeah. Any other services? That it?
yeah.
Got anything?
Nope.
Alright. So, I hear a motion to approve the minutes from the June 7th and the June 14th select board meetings. I move.
I'll second it.
Alright. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Public comment, anybody got anything to comment on here that's not on the agenda? Do we have an animal control officer report?
Yeah, we got a report.
Okay.
On page 2.
Not much going on.
No?
I guess that's not a bad thing.
No, good.
He also was on about 4 or 5 days vacation and came back yesterday, but
Okay.
there was no.
Nothing survived with Evan.
Yeah.
Good.
And there was anything.
We don't have nothing for health officer report?
No.
Okay.
On the dog report, you don't
Yeah.
see what happened, he just says what the call was for.
That one about the skinny dog?
Yeah,
I do know a little bit about that. He did have, he talked to the vet about it, and, the vet, what did he tell me? The dog had food, water, shelter, so it was being fed, it wasn't skinny because it wasn't being starved or anything, so. This is the type of dog it is, I guess, part of it, but he's aware of the situation, he's monitoring it, so. I lost my track here. Old Town Business, update on MU 78 sidewalk project, Bethany. Come on up.
Welcome
I
back.
have a chair for you.
No, I don't. Grab this one. Excellent, and so, I do have extra copies of the updated, were you able to send the updated proposal to?
yeah,
Yeah.
We got it.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So I was here last in May, and we talked about, the fact that Lamar Dickinson was closing its doors and options for the town, including to negotiate a contract with Trudell Consulting, who has purchased the project files from L&D and taken on their staff, going out and requesting doing a request for proposals, and open solicitation for the remaining design needed for the sidewalk. So those are kind of the two options that you looked at. You did pass a motion to, proceed with requesting a proposal from TCE. Of course, at that meeting in May, you're concerned about cost, you're concerned about a lot of things, but cost being one of the primary, and what's the impact of, moving to TCE, and also in general, the cost of the design being more than Lamar Dickinson originally, quoting, when they submitted a proposal back in 2020. So, you've gotten a memo and you've gotten a proposal that should be dated June 17th. So overall, what TCE is, their proposal is for $29,450. And what that would do for the total engineering budget, it would make it $71,094.93. That includes $41,644 that you paid to TCE for their time through June last year. L&D. L&D is leaving, they've left money on the table. They have not invoiced since last June. They left a little bit, under $5,000 on the table. So, you can see kind of the difference between when you applied for the grant, you originally were looking at, $56,000 for engineering. Lamar Dickinson was under that, but now we are looking, if you accept this proposal from TCE, just over $71,000.
So I have a question for you.
Absolutely.
So this TCE quote, that's to complete the project, 100% done, they're gonna oversee it to the end?
Yeah, that's all phases, so that includes where they're at in the design now, getting it into their system. It's going and identifying all the right-of-way, both permanent and temporary, participating, if invited, participating with the town and myself, with negotiating with any landowners, for right-of-way.
And that fee's included in here?
That's included, and then also, they will do the final contract plans and release it for bid.
Yep.
And when bids are received, they do a bid analysis where they will help determine who's the lowest responsible bidder.
Yep.
And then, somewhat most importantly, is they do retain some money for during construction, for when, design issues come up in the field, and you'll have a construction inspector that's working every day with the contractor.
Yeah.
But if there's a design issue, then TCE will be on for some hours to do revisions.
And then there's nothing else, hidden fees in their contract, everything that is spelled out here, that's to finish the
I mean,
job.
that is how they've spelled it out.
Yeah.
I've looked through, I feel like.
My concern is when they get into the right-of-way problem, is everything included in there, when they get into these right-of-ways, if we run into problems, is that?
And I take it to be only because it
that-
says fixed fee, so it's not an estimate, that's a fixed fee, that's the bottom line. That's how I,
Yeah, they're gonna do a fixed fee, and they've cleared that with V-Trans. Typically, you do, hours and time, but V-Trans is okay with the fixed fee as long as they request, as they invoice the town,
Yeah,
they're gonna have to state, okay, we are 50%
right.
towards this goal, and those progress payments.
so do they have a schedule in here, progress payments, how they wanna be paid for what they're doing, or how is, I don't wanna get the same issue we just had.
Yeah, so they did not have time to do a schedule.
Yeah,
I think it's really important, especially doing these fixed payments, that we have a clear schedule, and just with the history
Absolutely.
of how the
Yeah.
last 9 months have gone. And I think they're gonna be really receptive to that and holding to the schedule. I wanna touch on your right-of-way concerns as well. One thing I will point out, so they have time in here for the right-of-way phase, which is right-of-way plans, $5,800. You also, as a separate line item in your overall budget, not with TCE, have $25,000 for right-of-way,
yeah,
which will go towards compensation
Yeah.
for property, any attorney fees, things like that.
okay.
My concern would be what their timeline is.
That was
The
my
major
next
one
question.
right now. It's too late to start over, it would make no sense to rebid it.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I'm assuming is, based on what we were talking about the last time, is you guys are gonna, some of the money that was supposed to go to the regional planning commission is gonna go to make up the difference in this increase.
Can you explain that again?
Well, you've got 56,000.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Part of that, you've only used 28, and the new budget is only proposed for 28.
So, thank you for raising that. So what that municipal project management line means is that when the town applied for the grant, you anticipated spending $56,000 for project management. NRPC, we gave you a proposal for 28,000, and we're not going over that. And I think to date, through March 31st, I think it's 6,000 that we've billed of that. So that's, we've diverted those extra funds into the construction already.
Well, yeah, but we've got an increase, we're up to 71,000 now in engineering. We were at 46 before, so
Yep.
that's 20-something thousand, that's gotta
About
be made up.
$25,000 more.
Yeah, so is that coming out of this 56,000 for municipal project management? That we're not spending for that?
Yeah, so that's somewhat where your wiggle room is that MPM, the municipal project manager.
Yeah.
That's where you've made up. We were hoping, in an ideal world, if L&D was actually at 46,000, we could have taken that difference between the 56 for project management and the 28,000 and moved it all to construction.
Yeah.
And that's what we originally did.
Yeah.
Like with our current budget, but in a sense, it's going to cover
Yeah.
these additional.
You don't know
engineering.
if that construction figure is gonna come in at that.
Oh, hell,
We don't know
we have
anything.
no idea, yeah, probably don't even be close to that,
Yeah.
the way things are today.
Yeah.
Um,
I would be very
One more
surprised.
question, so do they, TC, have a date in their contract that we will be shovel ready by? Or any kind of information about that? When do they plan to be done this, I guess is the bottom line
That's
question.
the big,
They're
Yeah,
private.
I mean, that's a good question. I would say, they just need more time to do a schedule. And I could send that.
Do they have any anticipation that they would be done by the end of the year, so we could be shovel ready in the spring?
I would, I think that that's tight,
You know,
honestly. I honestly think knowing that even if you finish the preliminary plans right now and start it right away, I think you have 14
right away.
adjacent properties. Not all of them are gonna need right away because so much of this is happening within the states right away.
Yeah.
But there's still that coordination. And you really wanna be able to go out to bid November, December.
well, that's what I'm saying, by
And so-
January, you wanna be out to bid for next year's work, so are they gonna be ready so we could be out to bid this year, or we're gonna lose another whole year out of this?
So
That's my concern.
we can ask them that question. I would say, just been going through this before, I would not plan on 2023. I would plan on 2024. I think if you try to rush it for 2023, you don't wanna go out with a project this large, you don't wanna go out to bid late.
You don't
And
No, and
January-
that's why I'm asking that question is it gonna be ready by fall, so we can put it out to bid for next spring? Or you'd be out to
That-
bid before next spring,
You're saying what you think, you haven't actually asked them the question.
I've asked them for a schedule, which they haven't gotten me yet. What I'm giving you, what I think is, I'm just trying to be really realistic.
Yeah.
And not try to give you, if everything goes right and the stars align,
Yeah.
we're gonna have this out to bid this fall. I personally don't see that happening. If TCE can make that happen, I think that's great.
Okay. My feeling right now is that I'm willing to go forward with this contract, but not until I see a schedule.
Absolutely, yep, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I want something in
the
writing,
schedule
and
could-
part of the contract,
Right.
and saying,
Yeah.
this is X amount of dollars,
Yeah.
this is what you're gonna complete for this X
Yeah.
amount of dollars, the job's gonna be done.
And then it's nothing personal against these people, but
No.
I think in the contract, there's gonna be some kind of clause in there for penalty if they don't complete the schedule,
Yeah.
unless there's a legitimate reason, and a lot of contracts do have that in there. Because, this has been dragging on for a long time, so now we need to kinda get it moving
Yeah.
forward.
So, and I think being strict with them and being clear about schedule, that TC will take that well.
Yeah.
I don't think that they would sign on to any penalties for delays just because
Yeah.
so much, these delays since November have definitely been on Lamar and Dickinson with staffing. But moving forward, as we go into the right-of-way stage, that so much is out of everybody else's hands.
I understand that, that would be something that's understandable.
Yep.
But, you know, I mean, if they're gonna come back with a schedule that says they're not gonna have, you ain't gonna be ready for another year and a half, we might not wanna do that, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that, I've
Well,
also,
the problem is, the longer we push this out, the more money it's gonna cost
Yeah.
us. So, things aren't going down, they just keep going up.
So I guess you have to tell them that, you know, the schedule is a big part of
Yeah.
why we'll approve it.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
that's,
absolutely, I can definitely relay that. I would just wanna caution, I just wanna caution that we can say we want it at this point, but I don't want them to present an unrealistic schedule just because they're trying to please you now, and I don't think they would do that.
No.
I think that they need to do.
well, I mean, they're in the business, you know, and it-
Well, they're a pretty well-known company too,
Yeah,
so.
and it's in a municipality, there'll probably be more business. You know, I believe they'll give us something that's realistic.
Yeah.
But if it's a 2-year ordeal, then that may not be realistic enough.
Yeah, I mean, how long, we've been on this forever, this sidewalk deal.
I haven't,
And
you
we
guys.
still don't have, yeah, exactly, we still don't have concrete in the ground. Yeah.
I think it's fair to ask for some kind of timeline,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
we'll go
I
from
think we
there.
need some clarification on that. Yeah. So do we wanna make a vote contingent upon, schedule?
I would make a motion that we will accept their proposal contingent upon the schedule when they have it done.
Okay. And that proposal amount is?
For 70, whatever, no.
No, it's only,
29.4.
we're on.
29, okay, yeah,
450, right?
29,450 for TC, yeah.
Okay. All right, any other discussion on that?
I'll second it.
All right, in a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. All right, and that was contingent. on the schedule.
Excellent, and can I just ask a kind of a procedural question?
Yep.
So, I'll relay this to them, saying that we need a schedule. So would the plan be that at the next select board meeting, you would then make a final determination based on that
I
schedule?
think that's fair, that we keep everything moving. We gotta-
Absolutely, I won't wait any longer, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Who seconded that?
I did.
Sounds good.
Well, we're
Thank you for
very
sticking with us for
good.
this, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good rest of your meeting.
Thank you.
So Bethany, that'll be July 5th, just so you know,
Okay,
our next meeting.
okay.
Fourth Street.
4th Street update.
Hey Brian, so want me to start with this?
Go right ahead, I don't think we need to go
We
through
aren't gonna go through all
199
that.
pages, but
Don't read out
what's the long and the short?
The bottom line, first of all, they kind of reopened everything.
Yeah,
when they
See that,
went.
I read it.
And so as you read through this, there was, well, there was some question as to what happened to the asbestos there, that we didn't have a report. I'll work on that with the Department of Health and getting a copy. of that.
somewhere.
So, in the packet, I just gave you the first 6 pages or so, and you get right down to the next to the last page. Atlas offers the following recommendation.
What page is that, man?
This is the next to the last
12,
page.
maybe?
Well, it's not numbered.
Oh,
It's,
Yeah, I got 16, mine's
that's what I
numbered.
found.
Yours isn't,
it's,
16.
it looks like this one.
Yeah, right here, Atlas phone,
I got
space 17 on the bottom.
17
Look at
on
the
the
following
bottom.
recommendations.
Mine is not numbered.
Yeah.
So right on the recommendation, so, provide the updated summary to the Vermont DEC for review and comment in advance of redevelopment project. So that I will do, I can get that done this week. An additional site investigation is necessary to satisfy the I rule and can be combined with an evaluation of corrective action if necessary based on exemption criteria. Well, that's gonna cost money, so I gotta find out from them. I think we should wait and see what DEC is gonna say. And then that third one, is the excavation of soil may be necessary with proper disposal. Soils that will remain on site may require an engineering soil cap to remove the direct contact exposure risk. I rule requires a minimum of 18 inches of clean backfill if the area is not covered by impervious surface. And then you also have to clearly mark the cap with geotextile fabric that will distinguish the divide between the contaminated soils and the clean backfill. That I rule was not in effect at the time that building was demolished. This is something new, so I guess lesson to be learned is if you're gonna demolish it, you demolish it and do whatever you're gonna do right off.
Yeah.
That was,
Yeah.
but, so I think, you know, with your okay, I will
Yeah.
proceed with number one right off the get-go.
So did they do soil samples?
They did, some.
Okay.
And they
Yeah.
explain each one that they
Yeah,
did.
I read some of it, but.
You know, to me, when I read through it, and not being an expert in certainly that, but nothing really came out glaring at me that this is.
No, that's it, I mean, the basic thing is, we take out 18 inches of soil, contaminated area, get rid of it, and put green fill in there.
Right.
Because that's all happened.
But it's not the entire lot.
No, it's just a small area that's
Small area.
here to the end of the table, it's 10 feet around or something like that, it's not very big.
And, although they did expand it more than that in one area, because that's the I rules, and they had to look at the whole thing. But, so I think we probably should just send this down to this Matthew Becker at DEC
Sure.
and get his opinion.
And they have the area that's the problem is,
It's mapped out, I actually
Mapped
think
out.
in,
Yeah.
it's mapped on one of the
There's
pages.
maps in one
Yeah.
of these pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
And, so
yeah, I think it's, we're near the rail trail on that side of the
Yeah,
property,
yeah.
near the
Near
entranceway
Right
there.
near the entrance.
Yeah.
so
That's right.
essentially they didn't find anything different than what was there.
Not really,
No.
not really,
No.
it's the same scenario,
Yeah.
we could pave a parking lot over the top, we'd never worry about it.
Yeah.
If you want, or we can take it out and remove
Well,
it.
you're gonna have to set 6 inches. on the
Yeah.
margin.
And now they're gonna make sure that the asbestos was carted away.
It was.
Well, who's gonna, well, of course it was.
Yeah.
Right, but.
I can't remember the name of the firm we hired before we put the garage down, that had to move. It cost us like $10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And,
Yeah.
Must be a record of it.
There is.
well, yeah, not that I can find, but there, I'll call the Department of Health, they'll have the record.
I can find
Yeah.
it. We had to pay
Or
the bill.
we had to pay the bill once we figure out.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you had to pay the bill, you get the
Yeah.
canceled check, so.
Yeah.
So, what did that cost us?
I haven't got a bill yet, but they were quoted about $1,700.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
and we approved up to what?
10,000, 12,000, I think we put in the budget for.
So,
Yeah.
for now, we're in
So-
good shape money-wise, and,
And it may be, when it comes to this soil, it may be just about it lining the dump truck and taking it over to
Well, that's
the commentary of the dump, that's about what it usually amounts to, so.
Yeah,
yeah, so.
Yeah,
yeah, it's that small area, it isn't
Yeah.
gonna be a major ordeal.
Yeah.
By any means.
yeah.
So that's, we'll send this off to DEC and, I will send them the electronic file and
Yeah.
I'll send them this by mail.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
Sounds good.
you know, and then we'll be.
Well, we're moving forward with it, so I'll support it, so.
You probably have to follow up with DEC to keep them on it, or you think?
More than likely,
Yeah.
that's the way it is with everybody.
Yeah.
So it's probably fair to say we probably won't be using that land this year for, oh, yeah.
No, I mean, they can use it for the ball fields or whatever they want.
Other than that,
Yeah, no, I don't think we should be doing any kind of construction over there yet. We Get this one thing taken care of first and. ARPA funds, we just, I had a brainstorm, not to cut you off, Earl, but I think that, just real quick, that I think that we all should think of our ideas amongst ourselves and come back to the next meeting with our ideas of what we think that we should spend the ARPA funds on.
that's where I was thinking myself, since then till now, is we also have individuals and put on paper what we think
Yeah.
is maybe best out of what was brought to us, and see what the common feed.
Yeah, well, that's what I was basing my thoughts on, you
Yeah.
know, but I
Because we could
guess
be
I
here.
started thinking too fast.
Yeah, that's right.
I think if we break it down as individuals and come back, and then I think we're gonna have some maybe top 3, 4, or 5 things that, hey,
Yeah.
we know ideal, then go from
We're
there.
discussing ARPA funds, Nicole, that I suggested that we each take some time and come up with our own ideas of what we think we should spend the money with before the next meeting, and so we can chat about ours and everyone else's ideas and get a
Fantastic,
better idea of what we're gonna do.
because after attending this, I really think there's some opportunities that we really need to evaluate on how we can market our community to being the end of the Lamoille Valley Rail Trail. I think there's the state's working really hard on what they're doing. And there's gonna be a $2 million, they just announced a $2 million grant program, so I think we can
For
use-
that resource
for the
section.
Lamoille Valley Rail Trail, so I
Nice.
think a lot of, we can
A lot of
plan on,
signage and that stuff too.
well, leverage
Yeah.
our ARPA monies to make that go a little bit further.
Yep.
That $2 million grant you're talking about, is it just for the trail itself, or is it
Correct.
for the communities to benefit from the trail, which means they may have to do something within the community to tie to that trail? Would those projects qualify?
One moment, please. For community assistance, so it will help support trail amenities, and other things, so that does, I believe, consider economic development growth within the community to help support the trail.
Okay.
But it will also help in funding, the terminus, signage, other types of amenities that Swanton is looking to offer. There's a lot of really great information. The recording will be available for everybody in 3 to 5 days of the meeting.
Good. Anything else on that, guys? New town business, Mr. David LaValle requesting the town take over Shetland Lane.
Yes,
That's you, sir?
that's, yes, and it's Dale, for the record.
Oh, Dale?
Dale,
Okay.
D-A-L-E.
Okay, we'll fix
A
that.
misprint.
Get this started next meeting.
Thought you changed your name on it.
Read them.
I'm the president of the association, live on Shetland Lane. Ashley, the secretary, is the
Sure.
company.
Okay.
And we're seeing what we have to do to
Mm-hmm.
have the town take over our
Yeah.
road. It's a small,
Yeah,
500-foot flat.
sure, it is, and unfortunately, we've been asked quite a few times in the last years, and we don't have the manpower to take over any more roads at this time, or the budget. That's the issue is we can barely keep up, maintain what we have now, as far as paving and upkeep, and it's very, very difficult. We just had somebody come from another road, one of our other meetings a couple of meetings ago. And we haven't taken over a road, private road in years. And I know a lot of the other towns aren't taking over roads either. But we're just strapped with our budget. I mean, we have $325,000 for paving now. It doesn't even give us a couple miles of paving. And the other thing is people, not to go down this road, but people think they pay a lot of taxes to the town, but if you look at your tax bill, only a couple $100 of taxes goes to the highway department. It's very little. And we'll burn that in one winter, more than that fuel just plowing that road.
Right.
That's the hard part. And I don't have a great answer for you. I
There's no list
apologize.
to get on? There's
There's
not a way.
not a list. I mean, I could rattle off probably 10 roads in the last couple of years that have been asked developments to be taken over, and we just have said no. At this point, I don't know what to tell people. It is, the town didn't build those developments, unfortunately, and when they were built, there was no obligation from the town to take them over. It's,
When a builder does that
Yeah.
today, like a similar project,
Mhm.
do they become town roads or?
nope,
No?
nope, same thing as a private development, private road. The town has no obligation to take over the road ever.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are
unfortunately.
there like grants or funding that, these people can go to for help, even like to help maintain it or repair it, just because
I don't
it needs a lot of work?
know of any grants or anything that would go on a private road. That's the issue, because it's private. We get grants every other year. We get a grant for a major road project. Like this year, they were paving the P.E.G road with it. I mean, you can see how bad that road is. I'm sure you guys have been down there.
Yeah.
It's been long overdue for a couple of years, and
Right.
then we just struggle. I mean, we just rehauled. It's probably been 8 years, maybe 7, 8 years since we did a major project on Woodstock Road. It's already, the next 2 years, we're gonna have to pay that again. So if we get 10 years out of a road, it's a miracle, so,
Big girl,
yeah.
BB Road is?
Paving road's getting paved this summer, yeah,
The
yeah.
whole thing.
The whole thing, from one to the other, yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna pave the culvert project we just did down there in the next couple of
Right.
weeks, and then we have to let it set for a month before they can pave.
I see.
So we're paving, start tomorrow on the Bushy Road, and then they're paving County Road after that. And then they're gonna come back in another month and finish up the other couple roads.
Okay, so there's no standard we can bring that road up to make it a little bit,
I mean, any road we ever take over has to be built to A76 standards.
right,
And in the past, we do have required core testing done to prove that the base is correct and everything to meet those standards.
But even.
But
if
it
we
would,
got it-
it's not gonna help with our decision to get us to take it over.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Okay.
But, and, I mean, I was on the board, we took over one road probably in 6, 7 years ago, a small road, and they had to do the same thing, had to prove that it had been built to E76 standards and do the core sample and stuff.
Right,
But I honestly wouldn't spend the money on it because we don't,
Right,
we
that-
just don't.
and that's what we're feeling out,
Yeah.
trying to see if
It's,
there was any
I
list to
mean,
get on, or.
honestly, if we took over every development that's probably asked in the last 2 years, we'd have to buy another truck and have another man on the road just to plow all those extra roads. It just, in those little developments, it take longer than plowing the straight road, and then I don't get to go around everything, and it's, I wish I had a better answer, I really do.
Good to employ people, though.
Yeah, exactly, but, and then someone will be complaining because their taxes are too high. It's a double-edged sword, it really is,
Yeah.
yeah, you know,
Okay,
yeah, it's a tough situation.
all right.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
you,
you.
and I hope I answered your
Put me on
question
the
best I
agenda.
could, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're afraid of that answer.
Yeah, no, it's fine, you know. Okay, thank you, folks. Economic Development Housing Incentive Initiative meeting, 6/16, 20, page 20.
That was held last Thursday. The Northwest Regional Planning Commission has a new gentleman on board, Barry Lemke, and he is tasked with overseeing and trying to get some housing projects going, both in rehab as well as new construction. At the meeting in addition to Barry, Elizabeth was there, Catherine Dimitrick of Northwest Regional Planning, and Reg Bellavo of the Village, and along with myself was here in my office. And we spoke for about an hour or hour and a half as to what do we envision a community that's healthy, and the need for senior housing, but there was surveys done that the younger generation, the 20s and 30-year-olds, are looking for the same thing that seniors are, and many of them prefer to live in that sort of like an apartment, if you will, for lack of a better term. Complex, and which has benefits to everybody that lives there, of course. And so then we talked about possibly, and with the town plans being rewritten, is probably a good time, because there's gonna have to be some perhaps changes to the zoning regs. That was labeled, the two parking spaces requirement for every dwelling unit is sometimes very difficult. And so that went on. We discussed the Southern Growth Center, and what there would be there for, if we could put housing in there, which we can. But there, the big obstacle, of course, as we know, is water and sewer. So that was the start. I'm sure there'll be other meetings of this nature going forward. So stay tuned. We also touched on the need of, and I've thought this for a long time, what a good spot the 6 South River Street, the RIV, would be to redevelop that into an apartment complex. That couldn't even resemble what the original building of the RIV looked like. And so, it was generally a talking session, but everybody agreed we need to probably look at, once the town plan is done, is changing or looking at the zoning regs and make them go into compliant and be a little easier to work with. So that was about that. It was the middle of the hard rainstorm we had that day. And it was not a bad meeting. It laid out the groundwork, so we'll see going forward what they come up with.
You just mentioned the town plan. Now, we did get that grant money because the state had extra money.
Right.
Has any there was a request for
We
proposal.
put out a proposal, or a request for proposal, we have not gotten any answers, we put it out late because we didn't have the money.
Yeah,
And Elizabeth put me on track with a person in Windsor, Vermont, who may be available to do it. And she'll be doing it late, but the state's very familiar with her work, and the Regional Planning Commission is, they're very happy with it. Initially, I didn't send it to her because I looked at it, she's located
Yeah.
in Windsor.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's
a long
a long ways. You know, she's in the middle of a project right now, so we have not, you know, heard from her to speak to her.
because,
So,
definitely, the town plan at this point in time is getting to be something very, very important,
yeah.
very important.
So as soon as she's done this project, we hope to be able to get her and get started on it.
Good. BB Road update, the box culvert's in, the road's back open. They're gonna pave it, the section they tore up in the next couple weeks, it's gotta set for a couple weeks first. The guardrails will be installed in the next couple weeks, and Lafayette's a couple weeks out to put them up. They got some Jersey barriers up there now, but, so the road's open. Like I said, they're starting to pave Bushy Road tomorrow, and then they're gonna pave after that, County Road. They called this morning, Pike, and said they had a few days to give us, that they were waiting on some other jobs, so I said, go for it. And then they'll come back later, BB Road, deal around, and we're ready for those. We have to let BB Road set for about a month before they can pave it. So, the road
project went well, there was no issue.
No, everything went fine, they had some concrete they found in there, but they got it taken care of, wasn't a huge deal, so. It looks good.
What about that other deal that was, we had a picture of some foundation there on South River?
Well, I haven't heard anything back from the USGS people, so.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
down here, yeah.
But,
Yeah. Well, they wanna move their stuff out of that
They're gonna
building.
move their stuff out of the building.
Yeah,
So
So,
they're gonna do that.
we gotta determine, that's the next thing we gotta figure out, is who actually owns that building. From what I get the gist of, is the museum owns that building.
That was what.
That's,
I get
this
the
guy
gist
says
of.
they built that
Yeah.
building, so.
And I have spoken with Jason Barney.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
see whether they,
I think we just get rid of it, but
Yeah.
I don't know why, I guess I'd like to know what the purpose of that building was, other than that equipment's in there. Was it,
I think that was pretty much it. They wanted it to match what the.
it must be, I mean, if it resembles nothing from the museum, then
Right.
let's get rid of
And I think
Yeah.
it's something that's, it's basically the size of a portalette.
it. Oh, it's not very big,
Not
about
very big, so.
3x3, 4x4, it's tiny.
The highway department guys could make quick work of it.
Oh, yeah, we can swoop by
A
that.
lot of people probably go by and think that it's tied to
Yeah.
the bridge or.
Well, that
what's
was
there.
their purpose, and I guess they built it to match the museum
Right.
across the road, but it's
But
all falling apart.
I,
It's
we
terrible
gotta
shape.
wait until they get their equipment out of
Yeah.
there, because they're still measuring,
Yeah.
they use it to measure all kinds of data from the river.
So they're gonna put a little gray box on the,
Yeah.
on the cement boat under the bridge. No, I told them that was fine, it'll all fit in that, so.
Yeah, because the
As long as it's gray, it matches the bridge, I don't care, yeah,
The technology is much better than what's in there, so
Yeah.
it's really compact.
so. The roadside mower's back up and running, they're back out with it today, they had to wait for some bearings or something, they finally came in, so. The guys are back at that, everything's been mowed once, they're going back around to do the second pass now, so. The single axle's still at shop, waiting for the parts to come back for that, so. I can't think of anything else, but the roads I just told you about, so. I think that's it, highway. General orders. I hear a motion to approve general orders from May 18th to June 21st.
I'll move.
Alright, second on those. Take a quick second, look them over. Kathy, what's that Avenue Holdings LLC?
That's our, recording program
Okay,
for our computers.
I thought there
Our
was something with
recording
that.
program.
Yeah, good. Alright, look down, I don't have anything on that, so. Anybody got any questions?
Nope.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. The highway orders, May 18th to June 21st, 2022, your motion to approve those?
I move.
I'll second.
Alright, any discussion on them?
Was that lease payment for
Lease,
State of Vermont lease payment, $1?
Yeah, that's for the
The trailhead,
trail.
oh, yeah,
just making sure.
the trail. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Library orders, May 18th, 2022, June 21st, 2022. Any motion on those?
I'll make that motion.
Not much, so. I'll second it.
Give me a second, any of you got any questions?
We didn't have much for orders on the library.
That's a good thing. See
Well,
what,
according to one of them, I did,
Niger
check
must
an
be
email, there was an
first or
email, said there's a lot of problems at the library.
I'll get that.
something. Wow,
Get
Yeah.
some correspondence.
Oh, that's coming, okay.
yeah.
Alright,
Payroll orders, May 18th, 2022 to June 21st, 2022. Your motion to approve those.
I move.
Alright, got a first, got a second?
I'll second.
Alright.
Paper.
Library get paid bi-weekly?
Yes.
Okay, well, I've had a hard time remembering this earlier, so. It's gotta be bi-weekly.
You sound like
Alright, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Alright. Sign these.
payroll, okay.
And they have a new hire, Melanie Berthume is gonna be working 50 hours a week, as I believe.
Taking over Judy Paxton's spot.
Paxton's spot.
She's gonna be working what?
15 hours a week.
Okay, yeah,
She's taking Judy's
there's another
spot.
signature. I lost my, there we go. Where we're at. Any other necessary business? Phone?
Yeah, I think a meeting or two ago I had mentioned, I was wondering if, when I was out with COVID, I was not able to retrieve email messages remotely. Peter Smith was in the other day, and so I asked him, and in fact, he was just going out to the Holy Angels Parish out in St. Albans to upgrade their system to allow them to do that. What there is he puts a controller box or something on the equipment, and it will send a voice, it'll take the voicemail and send it to your email account.
Email, yeah.
And so you download, and then you just play it on a sound card. That will run between $600 and $700, but that's for everything. in the-
One-time shop.
One time, yeah.
All offices, all
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and it's not, we're not, just so the employees know, and it's optional whether they want to retrieve their
Yeah.
voicemails or not. When, in the evening or weekends, it's not something I normally do myself, but when somebody's out, we don't know when this
I think it's a
COVID
good
is
idea.
gonna be done, that's.
Well, you'd be gone to meeting all day too.
Right, and just decide to
Yeah.
do it,
Yeah.
from your, wherever,
Yeah.
and you can do it, so that's, I would recommend we probably.
I don't think that's unreasonable.
No, I don't think it is either. I'll entertain a motion to have Brian get Peter to take care of this.
I move.
Yeah, a second on
I'll
that.
second.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll second.
Do we wanna say up to $1,000 max or something? Would you say $600-700?
Right.
Was it?
You never know.
Yeah.
$1,000.
Yeah, up to $1,000 max on it, sounds good to me.
So the
Oh.
motion would be to,
Yep,
Brian to proceed to do this
yep,
up to $1,000.
that's right.
That's equipment and labor.
Yeah, I don't think there's
Install.
much labor to it.
Oh, you don't know about install?
Well,
That will include everything,
minimal.
the equipment and the
I just wanna make sure
install.
that.
it'd
Yeah.
be everything.
Okay.
It takes less than an hour, because that's what he said, he had to go out to Holy Angels. to
Yeah.
do it.
So,
Okay.
that's why you,
So we
okay.
have for the
Simple
record.
enough,
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it.
thank you.
Correspondence, email from Roger George, page
Wow.
21. Do we want to go into that?
I just wondered if anybody had any, I blind copied you on just about everything.
I've seen the endless emails. I have nothing more to say than I explained it to him at the last meeting, and I'll say it for the camera. The last meeting was to take public input for how the public felt we should spend the ARPA funds. That's exactly what it was for. We weren't there to make any decisions or vote on anything.
So noted that, right, that he was asking for money to cross we weren't approving the $10,000 approval, we were just taking input, it's all.
Yeah, it was never any discussion about
It
that.
was so noted that he was asking for it, so we know,
Yeah,
that's how I interpret it.
so. All right, email from Rebecca Rupp from the
Right,
library,
so you
and
got-
I did see that too
Our
about her.
email and then
Yeah.
the letter from.
Yeah, and I touched on that when my idea was that we need to put some money away for capital projects, or whatever you wanna call them, for our building maintenance. Or not put it away, but we need to have it cleaned out and spend some of it to fix, obviously, as we spend, so.
Right, I think just from them, they just wanna make sure that it's for the record that,
Yeah.
these are the things that are out there, we are aware of them, but.
Yeah.
We did receive it, as I said, in my email, yep.
Mhm. Public comment, anything that's not on the agenda?
Just two things that made me.
Oh, before we move off of this fiscal, not the fiscal, McQuam Shore issue, I'd like Brian to contact the Friends of Northern Lake Champlain, and I wanted, they talked about, you weren't here, this is before you were hired, but they talked about doing that study, and I'd like to see,
Reach out to
find
Ken.
out what's going on, and, what they're doing, and maybe I ought to relay that information to Roger. Because I think that's more likelihood of getting things done. I mean, the town is really not specifically in that business. We're supportive of it, but, I mean, it's gonna get we're gonna do it, and there's other organizations doing it.
They're already doing a study now, I don't
Yeah.
know exactly what
Yeah,
avenue
well,
it's
that's,
on.
as we all know, the state is spending lots of
Yeah.
money over the next 20 years.
Yeah.
And they do it in the form of grants to organizations such as Friends of Northern Lake
Yeah.
Champlain, who cover a wide area,
Mhm.
not just a little socialized area in one town.
Yeah.
And so I think, I can give them a call.
And, I mean, maybe, if they have all these concerns, they should be members of that organization. The more support that organization gets, the more they're gonna be able to do.
Yeah, I know Kent is the ring leader down there, so he should be able to answer
And
the
he's
question.
been here for,
Other meetings.
talking with Kevin and I about what are we doing to,
Yep,
with
that's right.
runoff and all
Yep.
that, so.
Yeah.
So I'll give Kent a call.
I mean, he said,
Yeah.
or she said, that, that doesn't gonna get anything done.
No.
I mean, if they're really genuinely concerned about improving water quality in McQuam Shore or McQuam Bay, then I think that's gonna be the best approach, and I mean, the town has been supportive of their efforts, we have an appropriation for the organization,
Yeah.
And, cause, I'd like to see something productive come out of it, that's where we're coming from. And, if Mr. George wants to continue to do what he's doing, and you think that's gonna solve things, I don't believe it's gonna, I think that approach, this approach,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, this has been ongoing for about 2.5 years, I'd say at least 2
Yeah.
years that he started.
2 years.
I think that we've done as much as we could, we've brought in state officials, they've looked at it, evaluated. There's only so much we can do as a community.
Yeah,
Just throwing money out there, where the state's gonna be really the one that's gonna spearhead this, and whether it's,
yeah,
you
and-
know, the Lake
The
Chamber,
problem is,
Cisco
it's
Water
not our-
Basin Group, right,
Swanton don't own the lake, so it's
We
not
can-
our, I mean, yes, it's our lake with our residents, but it's not ours to go out and try to clean it up. with the
well,
town Swanton.
it doesn't make any sense to me for us to be doing something when other people are doing this.
Absolutely.
It's just, it's money that could be used in a better, more useful way.
A coordinated plan,
Yes.
not everybody doing their own thing.
Yep, makes sense.
Just two things I had, did we get a follow-up from, chief on the speeding warning that was 40
I haven't.
and 60s? I haven't gotten.
I haven't gotten anything,
And did we hear a follow-up from Reggie about the electric bike request for 4,000 that
No,
could take out of emergency? Okay. I didn't know if he had-
I haven't mentioned it to him, he was out vacation last week, and he was back well, back his first week last week, and then, but,
He's always catching up, that's fine,
Uh,
all right.
I don't,
Yeah,
I'm not hep on it myself.
Yep.
but-
doesn't make a lot of sense. Contracts with the police department. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
And then if I may, the Chamber of Commerce is sponsoring the Citizens Concert Band in the park Wednesday, the 29th at 7 PM. And then I'd also like to just thank the community as well as our vendors and our food trucks for another great market event on Sunday. I'd like to continue to see it grow, and we will have live music at our July, August, and September, thanks to our sponsors from Sticks and Stuff and the Arts Council.
Nice. Super. Anything else, anybody?
I'll just mention that it looks like on July 11th, which is a Monday evening, the Cemetery Commission will meet
Okay.
to discuss the revised rules. At least the subcommittee will
Yep.
present
Nice.
something, not sure what.
Yep.
So that's gonna be here at 7 PM. Warning will go up, or the agenda will go up.
Good. Okay. Upcoming events, Thursday, June 23rd, DRV, 6:30 here at the town offices, 1 Academy Street. Monday, July 4th, Independence Day, the offices and operations will be closed. Tuesday, July 5th, the regular select board meeting in by Zoom, 7 PM here at the town office. I need a motion to go into executive session for personnel, legal, and real estate.
I move that we find that we enter executive session for the select board to receive confidential, contract, and/or personnel information for which a premature disclosure of it to the general public would clearly place the select board and others at a substantial disadvantage.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
I move that based on just made findings that premature disclosure would place the select board and others at a substantial disadvantage, we enter executive session.
I'll second that.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We're now in executive session.
Motion to come out of executive session at 8:34.
I'll second it.
Second. Everyone go to second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We're about a regular meeting. Action taken. Someone might make a motion on the hiring.
I make a motion that we put Mike Backus back on the payroll for up to 24 hours a week at $20 an hour.
Yep.
I'll second that.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 8:35.
I second.
All right. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, folks.